Ephesians 1:9, having made known unto us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure, which he hath purposed in himself. All right, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Lokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwat, who are believing this word, in all truth and in sincerity. All right, I want to go into a lesson on this through the Spirit, on the importance of the ISOF and the mystery that's being revealed in this time through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And I liken it unto a main plot. When you deal with the world that we live in today, the main plot is prophecy. All right, that is the main plot of where we're at today is prophecy. All right, knowing we're Israelites and coming out of that falling away is a part of prophecy. But the focal point of the ministry, all right, is to make known the plans of the Lord, even though the world won't regard it, is to make these things known. All right, this is Revelation 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh Shema Shai. For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. All right. And prophecy is the focal point. When you think about the billions of people on the planet, it's almost like you have the main plot and then you have these side shows. All right. These spinoffs. But the main plot is prophecy because everyone is going to be affected by prophecy. All right. The MOTB, which is the RFID microchip. All right. Concerning the mark of the beast. The destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America. This is going to affect everybody on the planet in one way or another. All right. And understanding these things is extremely important. All right. Because it'll make you understand how blessed it is to have this ISOF. All right. To be able to see through the darkness of this world, man. All right. This is Revelation chapter 3. I'm going to jump down to verse 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. So to have the vision, to understand the time that we're living in, all right, is truly the stability of the times. All right, most people don't have hope. Most people don't have peace. And if they do, it's in something that is vain and temporal. Whereas the elect have a hope and a peace that money can't buy. All right, this is John chapter 14 and verse 27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. So we have knowledge of the plans and intentions of the Heavenly Father concerning the world that we live in today. And this isn't to make us trouble. It is to actually comfort us. So when these things do happen, we're not offended by the judgments of the Heavenly Father. All right. And while the world is living, all right, being absorbed in their spinoffs, which is their own personal life, the main plot is carrying on in perfect timing. Prophecy is moving along with perfect precision. And we're witnessing this on a world stage because everybody's going to be affected one way or the other. And this is the power of the Lord making these things known before they actually happen by the mouth of his prophets. All right, so the world can acknowledge the Heavenly Father as the power that truly governs in the realm of men. All debates end when prophecy is accomplished. The mystery of who God is ends with the accomplishment of prophecy. No other religion is able to tell you what's about to happen next. All right. And this word, this gospel that's being preached is not being preached in a dark corner. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 45 and 19. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Think about the power of the Lord having these things written down thousands of years before the technology that we now live with was even thought of, much less invented. And to live through these things being accomplished is an even greater marvel. While the whole world is continuing to go on and looking at the things that are happening on the earth as just some regular current event, that's the average. The normal person is looking at the world today and they don't think anything is wrong. Whereas to have this truth, you look at the world from a different lens. All right, real quick, to land back the point I just made through the Spirit, there's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. So people are looking at the floods, the earthquakes, the uproars of people, and they're looking at it like, man, we're in the greatest time ever. You know, not regarding that things are gradually getting worse. And it's because people are so self-absorbed in their own spinoff, which is their life, they don't realize that the temperature is rising. All right. This tension is increasing. And we're coming into a time through the Spirit where the Lord is going to require these things to play out on a personal level for everybody on the planet. Salvation for the elect, but judgment for everybody else in one way or the other. And it's a beauty to be privy to these mysteries. All right. As a matter of fact, this is 1 Corinthians 1. And I'm going to jump down and read this in the NLT. This is 1 Corinthians 1 and 24. No, I'm going to start at 25. 1 Corinthians 1 and 25 in NLT. It says, this foolish plan of God is wiser than the wisest of human plans, and God's weakness is stronger than the greatest of human strength. Remember, dear brothers and sisters, that few of you were wise in the world's eyes or powerful or wealthy when the Most High called you. Instead, God chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. And he chose things that are powerless to shame those who are powerful. So the plan of the Lord is being made known, but people are regarding the messengers that present the Lord's plan as foolish. And it pleased the Lord with the foolishness of preaching, because the Lord is using that to confound people who believe in their own eyes that they're wise. But when these things are accomplished, when the plan of the Lord, which is the main plot, the Heavenly Father's plan is the main plot. Nobody can interject. Nobody can disrupt. Nobody can get in between it. And you can't law of attraction your way out of this. And this is why prophecy is so important, because it's going to intervene in everybody's spinoff. And even now, people are affected. They're just ignorant to it. But it's beautiful. The Lord chose the foolishness of preaching to make his plan known. And as the scriptures say, they would not believe though it be told them. All right, this is Habakkuk 1 and 5. It says, behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe, though it be told you. And that is also a part of the main plot of prophecy, that most people would not regard the words of the Lord and take them serious. That most people, as in the days of Noah, would be so self-absorbed that they would have no idea that what's being told to them would actually be accomplished. All right. The RFID microchip being made mandatory in Babylon the Great, which is America, and abroad in certain places. You know, the World War III, sedition going into civil war within Babylon the Great. All right, the so-called white man going into slavery after the destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America. All of these things, when people hear it, is so far-fetched in their mind. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans ruling over other nations as joint heirs with the one they ignorantly call Jesus. These things are so far-fetched in the minds of people that they completely disregard it, which fulfills prophecy. All right. This is Matthew 24:37. It says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So just like Noah's day prior to the flood, everybody was self-absorbed. They were so consumed in their own little personal spinoff that they didn't realize that the main plot was about to interject. Divine intervention was about to happen. And that's what happened. And these things are playing out again on a global scale. And as in the days of old, the Lord set up the prophets, as it were, in the days of old to warn. And we know, according to prophecy, that most people wouldn't regard it. Most people would hear these words and it would fall on deaf ears. Yet the main plot is still being accomplished. Even disbelief is a part of the plot. Scoffing is a part of the plot. Matter of fact, let's go here. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3:1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. And that's what you see playing out, especially on the internet. You know, between the social media platforms and the podcast equipment, the Lord has published the minds of people and how they feel about the Heavenly Father and his word. All right. When they're in a state of comfort, the minds of these people have been exposed, especially when it comes to the words of the Heavenly Father in the scriptures. Scriptures say that they understood not, but despised it. Lovers of themselves. And all of these things listed are a part of the plot. And this is why, through the Spirit, we take no offense to it, you know, as much as possible, because, again, it's hard not to. But we ultimately know that all of this is a part of prophecy. And just like in the days of Noah, prophecy and Noah prophesying was the main plot. But people passed on because they were so absorbed in their own little spinoff. Because, you know, they have these TV shows like the Marvel movies is a perfect example. They'll have a Marvel movie and then they'll focus on one character and give that character his own show. Well, if you look at billions of people on the earth, those are spinoffs. Yet the main plot, which is the Heavenly Father's plan for the planet, is still playing out, whether you tune in or not. All right, that's the power of prophecy. You can't turn it back and you can't change it. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 10. For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Which means the words of the Lord, including the threats, because the Lord is clearly threatening the world that we live in today with judgment. They're going to be accomplished. They're not going to be prevented. Just like you can't stop the rain from coming down. Just like no matter how bad you want to, you can't stop tomorrow from coming. Prophecy is unavoidable, and it is the main plot. You know, it's going to change the temperature on the planet. Where people think that this grace period was a license to do evil, the world is about to find out the consequence. And this is going to be global, meaning the judgment is going to affect everyone. Babylon the Great, which is America, is going to be burned from coast to coast. And while these things sound far-fetched to the average mind, they will be accomplished. All right, let's go here. This is Ezekiel chapter 33. And I'm going to jump down to verse 33. And it reads, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them." All right, and this is beginning with our apostles and elders who have spoken about this and warned about this for decades. And now we're living these things out. You know, all the pieces of the puzzle are being set in place for the mark of the beast to be implemented. All the tension necessary to create sedition is being stoked, if you will. The proxy wars will eventually melt over into a full-scale global catastrophe. World War III, the third world's woe. Though people hear this and don't believe it, it doesn't prevent prophecy from being accomplished. And this is what Christianity has left out of the Bible. They've left out the judgments of the Heavenly Father. The preference as well, but one of the main things they've left out of prophecy, of the scriptures, is prophecy and judgment. Because a big part of prophecy is the judgment of the world, man. All right, the Lord sat back and allowed people to play out their own heart's lust while they had liberty. But there is a consequence to that. The Lord is not mocked. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 42 and 13. "The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holden my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once." And now we're entering into that time. And this is how a flood could just sweep away people like it's nothing. And people not even bat an eye and not even think of and consider. Even as judgments are increasing in the world, as the scriptures say, the wicked knoweth no shame. And that's why the main plot has to thicken. That's the only way people are going to learn humility. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 2 and 11. It says, "The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low." And how is that going to happen? All right, this is Psalm chapter 9 and verse 16. "The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands." And while everybody is going on a day-to-day, living in their own little spinoff, prophecy is being accomplished. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.